these LED bar shelves, I got some low-grade walnut with some big voids and cracks in them. So I used some West Systems Epoxy and some black dye to pour in the voids and cracks and knots to fill in and stabilize any of the bad areas. I put some tape on the end to make like a dam so it wouldn't overflow in the edge. And then I didn't show it on the video, but I hit it with a lighter to get rid of bubbles. I wasn't too concerned about it because most of this stuff was going to be on the bottom of the shelves. Then I made a little jig for my track saw so that the wood wouldn't move. Just put some pieces of wood on the edge and screwed them right into my workbench. And then I went ahead and sanded all that epoxy that had cured, and I tried to use a little help from the card scraper to make quicker work of it, but I think I got most of it with the sander. And then I took a router, and this is where I was routing the groove for the lights themselves to lay in, and I also put a little spacer on it so that it would give a lip for the plexiglass to rest on. And here you can see that little lip where that plexiglass is going to sit on. And here I just cut the plexiglass or acrylic pretty thin stuff, like 1/8 of an inch, with the track saw to fit in the shelves. And I rounded over the corners since the router left those rounded edges. And then test fitting it here. And then I routed a spot for the remote itself. The customer didn't want to see any wires or remote, so I hid that underneath so that you could reach underneath and press the power button and change the colors and everything of the LEDs. And then also to hide all the cables, I used the Forstner bit to create a void in the back of the shelf so that I could feed the wires through, which will eventually go through the walls. And then also I drilled a little hole in the corner to feed those wires from the lights down into. And here I'm just using a roundover bit. I think it was like a 1/16 roundover for the edges, and sanded down to 220. And I fogged the plexiglass with some spray, frosted spray, which I ended up actually sanding to make it look a little better. And we're drilling here the brackets. We went with some heavy-duty metal brackets, so we're drilling the holes for those brackets to slide into that attach to the wall. And here I am routing out the back of it so that the back portion of the bracket can just slide in, and it can sit flush in the wall, and you won't see any portion of the back of the bracket. And here I am applying the finish, which is General Finishes Armor Seal and Semi-Gloss. I really like this stuff. It lays flat and it's really easy to work with. Here I am just starting to put in the LED lights, which I got off Amazon. The brand is Govee, and just doing some soldering to the pieces and running wire between the shelves, which I also soldered. Here I'm just putting together all the shelves and attaching the lights and running the wires through the holes that I had created. And here is the bracket installation. Like I said, these are heavy-duty steel brackets that have a bunch of screw holes on them, so you can just put the screws wherever you want on there. On the left-hand side, we drilled holes through the drywall to feed the wires from each shelf to the next, so that all the wires would be hidden when you slide the shelf over it. And also later, we put caulk on the seams too, since the walls weren't perfectly flat, to hide any kind of gap. And here's the finished bar shelves, no wires or cables exposed. the remote is hidden, and the lights dance to the music, and you can change the colors from the app or the remote.